Good morning, everyone. Welcome on this gorgeous spring morning to All Souls. My name is Pamela Patton. I'm our assistant minister, and joining me in the chancel this morning is Reverend Dr. Elaine Peresluha, who is our interim senior minister. It's a joy to be with you all on this gorgeous day. We're glad that you chose to be here, either in person or by live stream. We are a progressive spiritual community, a welcoming and inclusive community of members and of friends. Today is our poetry service, which we'll tell you more about shortly, but there is one omission in the order of service, which is that Harry Miller will be doing opening words this morning. So I apologize for that. We welcome Harry to do opening words shortly. If you're new or you're visiting this morning, we welcome you and we'd love to know a little bit about you. There is a card in the pew rack in front of you. Please fill it out or use the QR code and tell us a little about you so we can get to know you and you can get to know us. We'll reach out to you. Also, immediately after the service, for those of you who are new and visiting, or for those of you who just want to know more, there is a sanctuary tour. A tour of this space with our very own celebrity, Laura Peterson, who will be doing, she's right there. And believe me, it may seem like, well, there couldn't be that much to say about this sanctuary, and it couldn't be all that amusing, but trust me, it is when you do it with Laura. And so I really recommend it, whether you've been coming a long time or you're brand new today. It's really a delight to learn about the history of All Souls, to learn about these plaques that surround us and who they represent, and there could be no one better to do it for us than Laura. So please join us right here in the front, right after the service, if you'd like to join for the tour. And then just after that, for those of you new or newish, there will be All Souls in 20 minutes with our Manager of Spiritual Care and Membership, Gretchen Gabrielson, so you can stay for that as well. Families with children and youth are always welcome in our sanctuary for the entirety of the service if they so choose. We do have religious education programming downstairs, although it's starting here in the sanctuary today. And for nursery and baby care, we have up in the front here, Isabella is caring for the children. So children are also always welcome there as well, or here as well, I should say. We have coffee hour after the service, which is accessible by going down 2 flights of stairs or down the 2 ramps and to the elevator if you prefer. And today we thank the navigators for hosting coffee hour. They are an alternative scouting troop created to include everyone and founded here at All Souls. You can learn more about them down at coffee hour. There will be a table and people to talk with you about the navigators. This afternoon, we have a variety of programming, all of which is in your order of service. That includes our friendship circle for people who have lost a spouse or a partner, our young adults friendship circle, a listening session about our plans for construction on our building next door with our Director of Facilities, Kenny Luciano, and a program with Dr. Pilar Jennings, psychologist and Buddhist teacher, as well as, and finally, a concert of Ukrainian classical music at 5 o'clock today here in the sanctuary. All of the details are in the order of service for you to check out if you'd like to attend any or all of those, although doing all of them would be hard because they're all in a row. But you're invited to all of them. So please do feel free to join us for any of them that you feel are of interest to you. We'd love to have you. I'd also like to let you know that our Ministerial Search Committee candidate list is finalized, and we will be having a vote on that list of candidates later this week. So please keep an eye out for an email from the board with the list of candidates and a little bit of information so that you can respond to the survey about this, to the vote about this. We'd love to stay connected with you, so if you don't get our email at info@allsoulsnyc.com, you can send us an email and we'll send you our emails about what's going on here. So now that's it for the announcements. Please take a moment to settle in, silence your electronic devices, and prepare your hearts, your minds, and your bodies for our call to worship.
Amen. Hola, buenos días. This is a meditation, a prayer, a poem that was born in the 4th month of the COVID pandemic, at a very dark week in the community that I live and around the people that I love. Light of love, flow through my blood like a stream, nurture my heart and soul, bathe each wound with your healing power. Light of peace, come live within me, embrace each cell of mine, soothe my worries, calm my mind and feed my soul. Light of hope, let me feel you every second of the day. Break the darkness, hold me strong, carry me to tomorrow. Light of life, you are with me at all times. Remind me that all I need to do is to reach out for you, to experience your might.
Good morning. Welcome to All Souls. My name is Harry Miller. The road to being a UU can be surprising. Terry, a friend of mine in DC, was brought up strict Russian Orthodox. 45 years ago, she bombarded a friend of hers, an evangelical Mormon, with her doubts about Christianity and the Bible. She found contradictions. Her Mormon friend, spluttering with rage, pointed at her and said, You sound just like a UU. And Terry had never heard of Unitarian Universalism. On the basis of that, she investigated, and she became a UU and has been one ever since. My road was different. Brought up Jewish, I couldn't relate to the faith. When the prayer laments Bayom, on that day, that's the day that God's name will be on everyone's lips and we will live in paradise. And of course, I asked, what about this day? This is all we've got. So you can see how I might have gravitated towards Buddhism with that kind of attitude. I went on my first retreat in 1975, clueless about what Buddhism was or anything about it. The retreat, described as a meditation course, suggested bringing a cushion. Why, I had no idea. So I brought a couch pillow from the family sofa. Then 10 days of meditating 8 hours a day made what meditation is very clear. Pains in my legs led to clarity in my mind. Love completed my UU journey. I met Lois in 2013 when we were both experiencing the swan song of other relationships. Lois brought me here, and I met wonderful, open-hearted, open-minded, engaged, and committed fellow travelers. I want to especially thank Pamela, Pamela Patton, who was so welcoming and encouraging to help me include All Souls in my spiritual journey. I now lead a Dharma study group here, as well as participating in church services. All of this has enriched my experience, and since my class is on Zoom, nobody has yet been able to figure out how to successfully throw a rotten tomato at me. So, for the time being, I'm okay. So I'd like to express my gratitude to everyone here at All Souls, and now I'd like to invite you all to stand, and as you are willing and able, to repeat the bond of union. In the freedom of the truth and the spirit of love, we unite for the worship of God and the service of all. Please. Please,
Thank you.
please be seated.
No, don't be seated. Please remain standing, and we'll join in this amazing grace. It's hymn number 205 in your hymnals. Thank you.
Good morning. Alejandro, I'm going to borrow your music stand. Thank you. Love that for me. Today is a special service. We're honoring Poetry Month. Poetry is such an important part of our spiritual lives, no matter our age or stage. It helps us to foster empathy. It helps us process things in our world and in our daily lives. It also helps us to preserve cultural memories. Poetry is defined as a written work in which special intensity is given to the expression of feelings and ideas by the use of distinctive style and rhythm. Although I'm not sharing a poem with you, I am sharing a story about one of our beloved hymns that speaks to so many of us, just as poetry does. Later in the service, you will be singing what is regarded as the most widely sung hymn in our Unitarian Universalist faith. It is hymn number 123, Spirit of Life, written by Carolyn McDade in 1981. It is held in such high regard that it's been used to represent Unitarian Universalism in interfaith contexts, such as the 1993 100-year celebration of the Parliament of World Religions. Spirit of Life itself is not a poem, but a prayer set to music, and it expresses our yearnings for ourselves and the world around us. It helps to preserve the memories we might have of today's service, our feelings in this time of our lives, and our Unitarian Universalist faith and ability to meet the moment through the values that we share. Carolyn McDade has never considered herself a musician or songwriter, and yet she felt moved to create this hymn and others. On the day she wrote Spirit of Life, she and other social activists had just returned from a social justice rally. What she remembers most clearly was the feeling that she had. She was tired and disheartened by all of the work of being a change maker. At the end of the day, she arrived at a friend's who was also there with her, and she described her feelings like this. She said, "I feel like a piece of dried cardboard that had been laying in the attic for years. Just open wide the door and I'll be dust." At a retelling of that day, Carol said she was tired, not of her community, but of the world. She was so grateful to have a friend just sit with her while she also just sat in those feelings. After she left the friends, she went to her own home and she said, "I walked through my house in the dark, found my piano, and that was my prayer. May I not drop out. It wasn't written, but prayed. I knew more than anything that I wanted to continue in faith with the movement." Here are the words. "Spirit of life, come on to me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me." May this hymn, the poetry you hear today, and the words you pray for yourself move you in ways that give meaning to your feelings and feed your spirit in ways that only sacred words can. Blessed be. Please join me now in singing our children and youth to their programs. The words are in your order of service.
If there are any children still in the sanctuary who would like to come forward, or if their parents would like to come with them to join Isabella, you're most welcome to come anytime. So feel free, no pressure, just so you know. You don't have to be self-conscious once the service has started. So we have a long tradition of poetry reading and writing at All Souls. And with thanks to Carolyn Jackson, who is one of today's poets but cannot be here today, I was able to piece together a little bit of that history. I was present for a lot of it, but not all of it. Our former senior minister, Galen Gingrich, used to refer to poetry as our scripture, something not uncommon among Unitarian Universalist ministers, and perhaps this is due to our early ties to transcendentalism and a non-literal reading of the Bible. 19th century American poets like Emily Dickinson and Ralph Waldo Emerson had ties to this denomination. A member very dear to our congregation and our former Director of Religious Education and former President of the All Souls Historical Society, Mariella Holst, one of today's poets also, led a women's reading group for many, many years here where poetry was often the subject of discussion. Galen led a Sunday evening series called Sundown that I know many of you attended, in which he paired poetry with jazz. He would focus on one poet each time, including poets like Szymborska, Dennis, Elizabeth Bishop, Ellen Bass, Mary Oliver. And then when the pandemic came in 2020 and we all started a lot of Zoom programming, Galen led a program that deeply explored particular poets, including Emily Dickinson, his favorite, and anthologies like Kevin Young's African American Poetry, 250 Years of Struggle and Song. So we've loved poetry for a very long time here. I'll just finish with an excerpt from Opening Words from 2004 by All Souls member Rob Goldblum, who offered some poetic commentary about us. He says, "It seems to me that Unitarian Universalism is the jazz of religions. Without a sacred text to lean on, Unitarians are forced to improvise, to think on their feet. There are some familiar chord changes, some harmonies that resonate, but Unitarians are freed up to create the melody, so to speak. And that act of creation is what binds us together."
So in honor of Poetry Month, I think it was back in January, I sent an email to all the people we knew were poets and requested the names of others we didn't know about and asked for submissions to this service. So many people were reminded of their own creativity, and they submitted poems, which I then went through and picked a few from each of the writers. So today, reading their original works will be Timothy Kelly, Barbara Craig. Is Kiki Black here by any chance? She's not, so she will not be reading. She did submit a poem. And Yuko Mulgeta, Linda Moskin will be reading her mother's poem, and Barry Denny, Anna Stegman, Cynthia Weinrich will also be reading their poems. Other authors who are not here, Pamela and I will be reading their poems, and Harry is actually going to pick up one of the poems as well. I think we're resisting the urge to tell you more about the poets and the poetry, because the whole idea of poetry is that you insert yourself between the lines and the words that you hear. So I'm going to invite you to enjoy the poetry, not applaud after each poem, but wait until the end to share your gratitude with our poets, and find your own story in between the words. Words are often uttered and language is created. Poetry has a way of affirming between those words. And we remember that from the ancient Near East, where we have the Vedas and the Upanishads, to the story of and the Sumerian myths, that from the Hebrew Bible to the Christian Bible, that poetry has been part of spirituality since the beginning of time. Whether it's "the Lord is my shepherd" or "whoever is planted in the Tao may not be rooted up." Poetry is spirituality and humans' way of expressing it. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "We live in succession, in divisions, in parts and in particles. Meantime, within us is the soul of the whole, the wise silence, the universal beauty, to which every part and particle is equally related, the eternal one."
When I wrote this sonnet in 2008 about our longtime senior minister, Forrest Church, Someone in the writers group thought it belittled Forrest's illness to talk about it with connection to a mundane runny nose. Of course, it wasn't my intent to be disrespectful, only to invoke the cascade of concerns, large and small, that life presents. We had worried our way through one course of cancer with Forrest to a happy ending for a while. Then one Sunday, Galen was scheduled to preach, but Forrest was stepping in at the last minute instead. I literally crossed my fingers, hoping that wasn't a bad sign. And here's the poem. The minister says he's dying. All winter my nose has run, and now this. A shock to tell me that it's getting late. He's 59 and I am 58, full of procrastinating pettiness. Cancer had touched him once. This sermon set at the last minute prompted me to cross fingers against the news, against the loss. It didn't work. I recall we first met when he was full of youth, and so was I. And he invited all, including me, to join in mulling the reality of being alive and having to die. How deeply I miss the people I miss. All winter my nose has run, and now this.
Good morning. I lost my husband over 42 years, and I wrote this poem for all of us who are grieving someone we love. I hope in time we may begin to see the beauty of the world again. Here is my poem, The Lemon Tree. On the day after, his oak wood cast was covered with the cold black soil. Our daughter gave me a small lemon tree, about 1 foot tall. So ordinary, skinny tree with only green leaves in a black plastic pot, sitting on the sill of the window of the white bathroom. The tiny tree facing the tall, impressive buildings of the city, far from home, sitting alone. I drank tea alone, without company. I watered the tree, my only friend, trying to survive in a plastic pot. One morning, a small green fruit hanging on a skinny tree branch, white flowers perfuming in a bright spring sunlight. I continued to water the tree. A small green fruit grew and becoming a yellow lemon, just one light in a grocery bag, still hanging on the tree branch. Almost time to let it go. I would harvest your fruit tomorrow for tea, and we will drink it together. The bright sunlight, the blue sky over the tall, impressive buildings.
am an immigrant in this country. These are not my trees, my sunshine, my rain, my wind. This is not my language. My greetings, smiles, replies. I do not relish this food, these vistas, this after-rain breath. I do not drive by instinct past childhood memories of first crushes, birthday parties, dawns over the lake. These strange intonations do not warm and wrap me. Those burial grounds do not hold my mother, my father, my brothers and sisters. This is not my home. I immigrated from very far away, from a place that gave me space to run and time to dream.
I hadn't wrote much for a while, and then after one of Reverend Pamela's Monday class, I sat down to write a version of this. Sometimes I dream about whales, but while sipping a latte, anticipating an omelet over easy, I speculate death is an adventure, lofty as my planned trip to Iceland. No, not that I expect to die next week or even next year. Still, for an old guy, these things happen sooner rather than later. So let me set an intention to ponder pain and uncertainty with compassion while aiming high for a precious human rebirth. But now breakfast is gone, time is eaten, and I ask the crumbs, who's that yakking? It's me, posing metaphysical questions Buddha does not answer, and who winces at the removal of a splinter, shutting his eyes hard before an upcoming pinch, ow, from a flu vaccine. But we are all brave, gazing into distant mirrors, craving truth, smirking at distortion. Thanks.
All
I'm reading for Mariella Holst. And in the dark, a star, steadfast, and a tangle of ropes in the mooring. Time melts, stretches, distance is compacted and shatters. These journeys are treacherous, not because of great waves, but by becalming. Traveler, return. No answer. Traveler, come home. No answer. Only movement. Silent undercurrents shiver. Words fall like rain on forgotten days. There is movement, a shift, a strain. A rope enties itself by chance or by design.
God, through woman, speaks. The dance of life is struggle to be free. Woman, at least, has freed her knees and thighs, finding relief in spontaneity. Her joy in motion quickens human eyes. But hidden mystery of woman's grace lies beneath flesh or surface that is seen. She holds the power of crocus to displace, hard crust and show what life on earth may mean. From the unconscious depths of woman's soul comes longing for release in psychic dance. So is she tossed by forces that control life's feeling, growth, and daily circumstance. The human spirit must through beauty flower. Its life's deep essence sets the soul alight. And God through woman speaks with growing power that carries man to sublimated height. For life's a dance that is by rhythm swayed. Perceptiveness and feeling enter in. When spirit answers spirit unafraid, through woman life calls soul's growth to begin. Eyes wake to beauty of free moving limb. Man's soul shakes shackles that encumber him.
Numbers, 2001, by Marietta Moskin. I am tired of numbers, statistics recited like mantras, streaming beneath talking heads on TV screens, as if numerical factoids could explain the inexplicable. I am tired of numbers. 2 towers, 3 buildings, 4 planes, 19 terrorists, 5,000 dead in 15 minutes. Numbers. 60 Cipro doses, 6 days of treatment, or is it 60? The expert don't know how many microns of anthrax can cling to the head of a pin, seep through the closed envelope, cause people to get sick. Wars, bombs, déjà vu. When we can't grasp things that can't be explained, facts and numbers seem to soothe our mind, seem to bring order to chaos, make us think we can cope. Numbers. 6 million killed in Auschwitz, 19 dead soldiers in Mogadishu, 2 storage facilities hit, 1,000 suspects arrested with 5,000-pound bombs. How many days to Ramadan? How many feet of snow cover the Hindu Kush mountains in November? Irrelevant questions posed by restless reporters. Semantics. Terrorists, freedom fighters, crusaders, self-styled martyrs seeking pliant virgins in paradise. Fundamentalists. On the right, and the left? Is the moral majority moral? Who defines right or wrong? I am tired of numbers. How many bodies have been recovered? How many dead and identified? How many trucks of debris have been filled at ground zero? How many microns of ashes and dust are left of bodies incinerated until nothing remains? Numbers: 17 infected with anthrax, 4 dead, 3 identified letters, hundreds of hoaxes, 1,000 suspects arrested, millions of flags flying, 49 days till Christmas and the partridge in the pear tree, millions of flags flying.
Hello again. For this poem, I must acknowledge a collaborator, Emily Dickinson. One Wednesday, when Galen's 10 a.m. poetry Zoom was set to focus on Dickinson, his favorite poet, technical problems prevented the Zoom connection from working. So I sent him this, tacking a new ending onto a Dickinson verse. Some things that fly there be, birds, hours, the bumblebee. Of these, no elegy. Some things that stay there be, grief, hills, eternity, nor this behooveth me. Some things exasperating get, sirens, lockdowns, a lost bet, and that goddamn internet.
Please rise and join in singing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. That moves us, the learning that shapes us, the care that holds us, and the justice that calls us outward into the world. Today is a Share the Plate Sunday, and we will share your gifts with The Door. The Door's mission is to empower young people to reach their potential by providing comprehensive youth development services in a diverse and caring environment. They serve up to 11,000 youth annually, and they prioritize those who are experiencing housing instability or have been involved in the child welfare system. So in giving this morning, may we do so with gratitude for what has been, for what is, and for what will still be possible. We welcome your gifts in the offering plate or by the QR code in your order of service or on your screen if you're joining us by live stream. Anna, are you reading your poem? Okay.
I come from generations of hardworking people, farmers, farmhands, and day laborers, from grandparents who lived through monarchy, World War I, the Weimar Republic, World War II, and democracy. My mother's parents didn't like Hitler because he was not a Christian. My father's parents admired him for restoring German pride. I come from a father who was drafted into Hitler's Wehrmacht at age 17, who lost his leg on the Russian front at 19. Then he felt he was no longer a real man. His screaming and phantom pains kept us up at night. I come from a mother ruled by fear and panic attacks, tortured by memories of sitting in crowded basements, listening for the Royal Air Force to drop their deadly loads of bombs. I come from post-war Germany, where men without limbs and invalids from World War II were a common sight. A landscape littered with unexploded bombs and munitions. Constant evacuations as bomb disposal units performed their dangerous job. I come from neighbors who were former slave laborers, displaced persons who did not want to return to the Soviet Union, and Germans expelled from former German territories in Russia, Czechoslovakia, and Poland. I come from inheriting the guilt of my nation about the Holocaust, bearing the shame of belonging to a people who caused 70 million deaths of innocent people by a war we started. The gruesome killing of Jewish people, gay people, disabled people, Jehovah's Witnesses, political opponents, and Roma in concentration camps. I come from a part of town where fathers worked in the mine or steel factory. They belted out marching songs when they got drunk, songs they sang as they invaded other countries. Our mothers were housewives who had no say, who didn't leave husbands who beat them. Men drank to excess. After all, they were the providers. I made the decision that I would not end up like my mother or my father. I would accept all people, regardless of their religion, nationality, or the color of their skin. I would fight injustice. I come from longing for world peace with a real fear of World War III, a war fought with nuclear weapons that could blow up the entire world. I come from the belief that I needed to get out, that education was my ticket to a better, freer life, my path out of misery. I come from the belief that I would never get married. I would never let a man treat me like my father treated my mother. I come from doubting the existence of a God who allowed the Holocaust, slavery, and too many injustices in our world. And now, I am glad to make a difference in the lives of others. No longer depressed, but in love with life. Happy to be part of the Unitarian Universalist Church. Grateful for 25 years of happy marriage. I treasure life with all its ups and downs. That's where I'm from.
I'm reading for Carolyn Jackson. The drive from Santa Fe was longer than I foresaw. But having left New Mexico for Arizona, I slowed anyway to see the evening's light show. It was cloudy with a prediction of monsoon rains, but I had dodged them and settled for showers that slicked the highway. The sun backlit the clouds, peeking through occasionally, but quickly hiding again as I rolled over the road with its unexpected bumps. It made me happy to see Red Mesa glow, as if it had just emerged from a warm oven and could feed multitudes. Turning north into Utah, I saw rain falling from heavy clouds, a blue scrim across a pink sky. Flashing lights warned of unfenced, grazing cattle, while across Navajo land, isolated homesteads lit up to show someone was home. I turned off the cultivated drone of public radio and sang the land a lullaby.
Sipping chocolate quietly here, sit and watch the bubbles rise within the glass. Why up, you ask? It's always been the way, they say. No one surmises. Else times too, perhaps. Sit and watch the always been go by. Only now the bubbles break deep down inside the clay. And the soul it is, we say, that rises.
Please join me in thanking all of our readers and our poets for their creativity, their wisdom, and their vulnerability. Life is indeed a poem. In the laughter, in the tears, the wisdom, and the courage of fellow travelers' words, we can discover our own yesterdays, the today, and the tomorrow, and know we are not alone. Thank you. Please rise and embody your spirit, and we'll join together in number 20, Be Thou My Vision.
Please be seated. As we extinguish the light of our chalice, we carry the fire of commitment and the love of this community with us always. And now in our going, may love bless us and keep us. May the light of love shine upon us and out from within us and grant us peace and be gracious unto us. For this is the day we are given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.